have to share this. I got divorce papers because my paranoid husband thinks I am cheating on him. Hey, people of Reddit. I am Kelly, 28, F, and have been married to Jason, 32, M, for over 3 years now. I never thought I would be in a situation like this, but here I am, feeling lost, hurt, and utterly confused. My paranoid husband, who I have loved and supported for years, suddenly accused me of cheating and has sent me divorce papers. I don't know what to do and could really use some advice or even just some words of encouragement. I have been noticing that Jason was a bit off for the past few months. He was constantly checking my phone, questioning my actions, and fantasizing about scenarios where I could be betraying him. At first, I brushed it off, thinking it was just stress or the result of external pressures. However, things escalated quickly, and before I knew it, he accused me of having an affair. I have done everything I can to reassure him of my faithfulness and love for him. But unfortunately, his paranoia seems to outweigh any evidence or logic I present. I have assured him that there is no one else and that his suspicions are unfounded, but it is as if he has made up his mind to believe otherwise. And I agree that I had given him enough reason to have his doubts about me having an affair. There was one instance in the past where I had messed up and cheated on him, but it was a long time ago, and there is no way that he can hold it against me now. I mean, we are all humans, and we do make mistakes and learn from them. I made a mistake in the past because I was immature, irresponsible, and did not value my relationship with him as much as I do now. Just because I smile at someone and talk to them in a very nice manner does not mean that I'm trying to sleep with them. It's ridiculous to think that way. There might be numerous reasons why I would have to be talking to someone. Being kind and generous is just being human. You can't use it against me. I admitted my mistake and I apologized for it. I have even resented myself for my behavior and tried to make amends ever since to be the loyal and loving wife. Not a single day since then had I begged for forgiveness for my actions. I have never even had the thought of having any other man in my life. I have no idea how to make him believe that there was nothing going on between me or any other person, because he's the only one that I truly love and care about. Trust me, I learned the hard way to be 100% involved in a relationship. I understood the place he was coming from, as it was not too long ago that we discussed how he would be willing to forgive me and trust me going forward after the affair came to light. I had given him every reason to have his doubts, but every day I had to justify my actions on why I did what I did. Why did I talk to a certain person? It was getting a little too much. I could sense his skepticism and uncertainty, given the circumstances. However, constantly having to explain my intentions and defend my choices became overwhelming. The need to justify every conversation I had with specific individuals was becoming increasingly burdensome. We sat down and had a deep and meaningful conversation about how I would not be repeating the same mistake and how much I value this relationship. I thought that we had a very transparent discussion and cleared up any misunderstandings that we had about me having an affair with anybody for that matter. The conclusion seemed to be very positive, and he was willing to agree and accept that he had overreacted and trusted me with all his heart. Well, that was the impression he gave me until I woke up one day and received divorce papers. How could he do this to me after all that we discussed and bored our hearts out, confessing how much we loved each other just 2 days ago? Is he even the same person that I revealed my true feelings for? This emotional roller coaster has taken a significant toll on our relationship. His trust in me has completely evaporated, and mine in him has been severely shaken. I have attempted to seek professional help, suggesting couples counseling or therapy sessions for both of us, but he has been unwilling to participate, claiming that it would all be a waste of time and money. Just recently, everything was going great for the both of us. Things were slowly becoming normal, and we were soon reaching that phase of being a happily married couple. Jason unexpectedly served me with divorce papers. It feels like a punch in the gut, and I can't help but feel devastated and betrayed. It's not just the accusations themselves that hurt, but also the fact that he would take such an extreme step without even trying to work through this together. I'm now left questioning myself and our entire relationship. Was I truly blind to any red flags? Did I miss any signs of his paranoia or insecurities before they spiraled out of control? I never thought I would be in this situation, and it's disheartening to see years of love and trust suddenly disintegrate. As I navigate this difficult time, I'm reaching out to you, Reddit, for guidance and support. Has anyone experienced something similar? How did you cope with it? Is there anything else I can do to salvage our marriage? Or should I start preparing myself for the possibility of divorce? I understand that this is a complex issue, and I'm eager to hear your perspectives and insights. I want to emphasize that I am not looking for criticism or ridicule, but heartfelt advice and understanding from those who have been through similar experiences or have expertise in this area. Thank you for taking the time to read my story. I appreciate any guidance or support you can offer during this challenging time. TLDR. My husband has become increasingly paranoid about me cheating, despite my constant reassurances. He recently served me with divorce papers, and I am feeling lost and hurt, seeking advice and support on how to cope or salvage our relationship. Update. I tried to get a hold of him so that we could talk about all this. He couldn't be serious enough to send me divorce papers and expect me to just sign them without even having a discussion. I agree I did slip up once in my life, but never after that. I have regretted that decision and did everything in my power to make sure that this relationship becomes our strength. I know that since the day he sent me the divorce papers through mail, he has been actively trying to avoid any confrontation from my end. We live in the same house, but he has been dodging me every day to make sure not to have this conversation. I have never seen a person being so paranoid not to even trust their own instincts. I decided that I would just give one last try to talk to him before I give up, because there was no point in staying with a person who does not trust you. I sent him a text asking him to talk to me just one last time so that we both get closure if we will be ending our relationship. It was a fair thing to ask, since closure was really important for the both of us to move on in our lives. Surprisingly, he understood that it was better we have a talk before we decide to part ways. Finally, I got a hold of him and sat down to talk about the divorce papers that he sent. Naturally, I was very upset with the way he was acting about the entire situation because there was actually nothing for him to react to. There was no affair going on. There was no evidence. There was no nothing, so I had no idea why he had to act this way. I wanted to be very calm and patient in my approach, asking him why he thought that I was having an affair because I don't think I have done anything to upset him or give him the wrong impression. He did not give me a proper explanation, as he just said that he knows and he feels that I am having an affair and he just wants to get it over with. His responses were not really helping me with this conversation because there was no way I would like to carry out this conversation on my own if he was just here as a formality. I was losing my patience, so I told him that this is the last time I was going to ask him what led him to believe that I was having an affair, and if he was so sure, does he know the person I was having an affair with? He told me that he has seen me talking to a few of my colleagues, giggling over silly things, trying to make a pass on them, and he has learned from his previous mistake that he is going to take action before things go out of hand. Before he reaches a stage of denial, he would want to get at all of it and not feel like a loser before getting fooled by me twice. I did not understand why he was so adamant on believing that I was having an affair. I tried to be calm and put myself in his shoes to try and understand what could be the reason for him not to trust me and be fixated on the idea of me having an affair. However I tried to look at it, I could not find any reasonable explanation for him to behave this way. I finally decided to give in, as there was no point in buying new furniture for a broken house. I finally signed the divorce papers and gave them to him, but told him that he was soon going to regret it once he discovered how wrong he was about all this. He just smiled at me and told me that he was not interested in any free advice from people who themselves cannot handle their own relationships. As I was driving by one day, I saw Jason walking hand in hand with another girl towards the church. They were smiling and talking animatedly, and I could tell that this was more than friendship. It had only been 2 weeks since I had moved out of the house after signing the divorce papers, so there was no way that Jason would have gotten so close to someone else in the span of 2 weeks. There was something that I was missing, and I decided to find out. I followed them to the church and sat myself closer to the exit so that they could not see me. I followed them the entire day to make sense of the entire situation. Was she the reason why Jason was so adamant on getting a divorce without a valid reason? If this was true, then it would mean that not me, but Jason was the one who had been cheating on me. But he made it look like I was the one cheating so that he could get a divorce without feeling bad or guilty about having an affair. All of this was sounding so messed up, and my head started aching, thinking about all the different reasons why Jason would have been so adamant I'm getting a divorce. I decided that I could not live with ifs and buts, and I had to know for sure the actual reason behind divorce. I deserved to know why my almost perfect married life came to an end, and I needed to know the truth, however painful it was. I followed them home and banged on the door, asking Jason to open up. He looked very puzzled to see me in front of the house and demanded that I leave. I told him I would not be leaving until and unless he tells me the actual reason why he was so adamant to get a divorce. He laughed and asked me to move on and stop disturbing his life, as in hand no interest in having any sort of conversation with me. He was about to shut the door on my face when I told him that I saw him with a girl at the church. He told me to get a life and stop snooping around on him. I asked him point blank if she was the reason he was so adamant to get a divorce. He told me congratulations for finally figuring it out. He told me that he was very thankful to me for having this affair, which helped him to finally meet the love of his life, whom he was going to marry very soon. I now understood that he had been having an affair all along, and he gave me that wicked smile without a reply, with which I could tell that all this had been going on for a really long time. I told him that he was the one cheating on me, and very cunningly made me agree to getting a divorce without letting me know the actual reason. He kept smiling and telling me that I was the reason that it was all happening. If I would not have cheated and been loyal, there would have been no need for him to go and find someone else to cheat with. He told me that all this was my karma, which was coming back to me. He then shut the door on my face, leaving me standing there motionless in disbelief of all the revelations that I had just come across. I was completely devastated, to say the least. I had never expected Jason to have an affair and then take such an extreme step of getting a divorce to be together with the person he was having an affair with. To be frank, there would be no way I would have possibly been okay after knowing that he was having an affair when we were married. I completely understand what he must have gone through after he learned about my affair, and how much he must have hated himself for not being a good husband that must have led to me having an affair. I could not control my emotions and started sobbing uncontrollably after being in the same shoes as him. Though we were not officially married anymore, it still hurt knowing that he had been having an affair for the longest time, and I had no clue about it. I could relate to him, but there was no way that I could forgive him for it. The pain of betrayal and the realization of our shared experiences overwhelmed me. I couldn't help but question how our relationship had deteriorated to this point. I went home and sat in a dark corner, imagining how my life turned from a romantic novel to a horror movie within the span of a few weeks. Jason was someone I could trust with my life, and he was the one who ended up cheating on me. I do not completely blame him for it, as I was the one who broke his trust first. I would never take an affair so far as to divorce him and start a new life with that person. That was crossing the line, and he did exactly that. I don't know what I was more upset about. Was it his affair or that he divorced me for a mere mistress? It was hurting me real bad that I got dumped for a mere affair. I was completely broken, and I sat there for hours thinking about my past and my life with Jason. It never was unbearable to the point of me taking an extreme step as to have an affair. I don't know if I should trust Jason and his reasons that it was all because of me. It could be his guilt that was not letting him accept that all of this was his fault, and he was just trying to push the blame on me to make himself feel better. After crying my eyes out and blaming myself for almost 3 hours, I decided that there was no point in blaming myself for ending a relationship which was already broken. I decided that I would focus on myself and my well-being and stop thinking about Jason or with the new girl in his life. Update. It has been 3 months since I have closed the chapter of my broken marriage with Jason and moved on with my life. I recently started working at a new place which was very lively, and that helped me uplift my moods and spirits. I was enjoying working there until I was invited to one of my colleagues' weddings. I had very little interaction with her, so I was not very keen on even attending the wedding. She looked very excited and always talked about how much her fiancé loved and cared about her and all the nice stuff. Sometimes I felt like telling her that all of this does not last very long, but I do not want to bring down her spirits. After all, it was her big day, so I wanted her to be as excited as she could be. A few days before the wedding, she came in and personally handed over the invitations that she handmade for all the guests tending the wedding. I thought that it was a really sweet gesture. I put the card in my bag as I was still busy with a lot of work to learn and making myself independent. After I went home and was sipping my coffee, I remembered about the invitation and pulled out the card from my bag. It was a very cute-looking card, and I could see that she put in a lot of effort and thought into making it. I opened it to take a look at the details when I noticed the name of the groom. Could it be a coincidence that there was another Jason with the same surname, or was he the Jason I was thinking about? The invitation fell from my hands as a reflex, and I was numb for a few seconds. I frantically pulled out my phone and started searching for her on Instagram. I started scrolling through all her pictures to see if there was any picture of her with her fiancé there that could confirm if he was the Jason I was married to. There was no picture, and I felt a burst of anxiety, unable to do anything in this situation. I don't know why I had gone back through the time when I would sit in a dark corner and cry thinking about Jason's betrayal. I thought I was way past that, and I had come a long way forgetting everything about Jason and his affair. I went and walked the next day to the mine to find out who Isabel was marrying. As I wasn't close to her, I did not find the right to talk to her directly, so I decided to ask around if anyone has an idea about the groom. I tried my luck at lunch, asking everyone if they had met Isabella's fiancé and would be going to the wedding. One of them mentioned that he had seen him once or twice when he had come to pick up Isabel. Nobody had a picture, so I did not know if I was being paranoid for no reason, or was I right about what my gut was saying. I couldn't make up my mind if I should go to the wedding and see for myself, or just let it go as I had already moved on from Jason. I mean, there was no way Jason would be marrying a sweet girl like Isabel, and there was also the fact that she was almost 8 years younger than him. Not that it mattered, but I do not want to see Jason with someone young and beautiful. I just couldn't stop thinking about how Jason could be happy after lying and cheating on me. There was just 1 week left for the wedding, and with no leads on Isabel or her fiancé, I decided to attend the wedding and see for myself. I went to the wedding making sure that I looked like a bomb. If it turned out to be the Jason I was married to, then I wanted him to look at me and regret what he lost in his life. Somewhere in my heart, I was hoping that it would not be Jason and some other guy that was marrying Isabel. I met a few colleagues and we made our way inside. When I saw Jason standing at the altar waiting for his bride with a big smile plastered on his lips, I could not contain myself, and I stumbled and fell. I got up and blamed the heels for this debacle, but deep down I knew that it was my heart that was sinking. I could not see Jason marrying someone else right in front of my eyes, so I decided to take off. I went home and drowned myself in alcohol, and the image of Jason smiling and waiting for Isabel kept replaying in my mind. I had switched off my phone since everybody had been calling me asking why I had left before the ceremony. Of course, I could not tell them the actual reason, so I just lied that I was feeling a little under the weather. I applied for a leave of absence for the next few days and holed myself in my apartment. The only thing I did was eat, drink alcohol, and sleep. I did not know that Jason would affect me so much, even after all these months. It has been a month since Jason and Isabel's wedding, but there has been no improvement in my sorrow. I go to work feeling very lethargic. I come home and drink to myself. I don't feel like doing anything as I feel so lonely. I have no one to talk to. I am not sure if I need help in getting out of the situation I am in. I decided that maybe writing things down will make me feel better. I might not even post this and just keep it to myself. If I do decide to post this, it is a call of help for anyone reading this to suggest what I could do to get me out of this slumber. I would like to feel normal again and do things that I want to do without forcing myself into it. To anyone who has read so far, please give me a few insights on how to overcome this guilt and betrayal that I have been overwhelmed with. How should I get closure and move on with my life? I wish I could forget everything and start afresh. Please help me with any tips that I can use to start over. Thank you all for being so kind and supportive. Your help has made me come this far. I am hoping that it will help me sail through again. Counting on your love and support.